Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Faris, did I pronounce that correctly?
Congressman, it's Pharisee.
Pharisee, thank you. I stand corrected. And thank you for your service. I, too, spent some time at Fort Knox. I was medevaced out of Iraq in '07. Iraq. Michigan, we say Iraq for some reason. And I was at the Warrior Transition Unit in October of '07. Were you there at that time?
I was not, but you would not recognize the new Warrior Transition Center. They've opened a wonderful new facility at Fort Knox.
Yeah, it was since when? 2007 or before that?
Oh, they didn't open the facility until 2013.
Okay, well that's good to hear, because when I got there, everybody was in a hullabaloo because the soldier had died in the barracks. It's a Warrior Transition Unit for wounded and injured soldiers from Afghanistan and Iraq. They said, "You don't understand." I said, "What don't I understand?" So they didn't find his body for 4 days. The Army said 12 hours. The newspaper said 2 days. The boots on the ground said he opened his pizza on a Friday, and they found him Monday night. My own experience there, I waited 6 hours for the pharmacist to tell me they didn't carry the prescription. Come back on Thursday, and when I went back on Thursday, they had forgotten to requisition that medication for my neck injury. And when I got out, I went back from, you get discharged from active duty, you go back to your National Guard unit, and I was ordered to go and apply for VA benefits. Ordered. Because being a Vietnam veteran, 30 years ago, with my experience with VA, I didn't want anything to do with it. Do you understand? You're familiar with those feelings? Vietnam veterans?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and Mr. Connolly, Congressman Connolly mentioned, sorry he's not here, but he said there's been a 30% improvement with the, thank you, Mr. Connolly, 30% improvement, and that's since 1973. That's 1% improvement for the last 30 years as far as I'm concerned, because I am a veteran and I have direct experience with the VA. The orders I was given, I filled out my paperwork and waited 11 months for the VA to tell me they had lost my medical records. Luckily, being an old soldier, I made hard copies, and so I took them down to the Detroit VA and stood behind the gentleman as he photocopied a stack about 8 inches tall of my medical records. And within 60 days, I had my disability, 50%. As a congressman, I toured the facilities and got the dog and pony show. They were very gracious, very professional. I saw a lot of new improvements to the VA, but when I talked to some of my constituents that come in handling our casework, I see the same story that I saw in 1973. I have a question. You've been a general in the military. Are you familiar with FM 105 or 101-5?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, it's the officer's Bible. It's called Staff Organizations and Operations.
Okay. Yes,
You're
I am
familiar
familiar
with
with that.
Could somebody hand her this here, please? Chapter 4. Page 1 of FM, I've circled it there for you. 101-5 states. Could you read that for me, please?
Yes, I
Where
will.
I circled it?
Yes, I will, Congressman. The commander is responsible for all that his staff does or fails to do. He cannot delegate this responsibility. The final decision, as well as the final responsibility, remains with the commander.
And you carried that Army training with you to the VA, correct?
Correct.
Great. Can you tell me why commanders are responsible for the actions and attitudes of those under them?
Because we are placed in that position of responsibility, and we must incur that responsibility for every action.
So in the military, the actions of the service members under a commander's authority are often directly attributed to the leadership and culture of the group, correct?
Correct.
The VA is no exception. The disgraceful attitudes and lack of concern over wasting taxpayers' funds can only be explained by the fact that the leadership of the VA is flawed. Until the stagnant attitudes at the very top of the VA are eliminated, we cannot truly hope to eliminate the many problems plaguing the VA that, in the end, are hurting our veterans the most. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I'm new to Congress. I was a taxpayer, worked in the service, served my country in 2 wars. And I see the IRS, EPA, the Energy Department, and now the VA, wasting taxpayers' money, what do you think I should do? What can I do to stop that from happening? Because what I think is I'd like to fire you all and start over. That's my feeling. But what's reality? Reality is I got to work with you. How am I going to get improvements, 100% improvements, more than 100% improvements, because all I saw is 30% improvement over the last 30 years. That's 1% a year. Do I got to wait till 2083 to get 100% from the VA?
Congressman, I believe that the department is working, and we plan to work faster than that.
I heard that for 30 years. Actions speak louder than words. What are you going to do tomorrow to eliminate that backlog, to get it done? Because that backlog is the same backlog we had in 1973, 1974, 1975. Is that, you know, if you want something screwed up, let the government do it. That's the way I look at it.
I think that
That's not what my taxpayers are expecting. I want quality service to our veterans, not tomorrow, well, tomorrow and next week, not in 2083.
I thank the gentleman, and